everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And today we have Palakh with us as our guest speaker. Hi, Palakh. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Great, great. So this is a series that I have recently started. It's about the startup talks where we introduce one speaker per talk and we talk about how they started their thing and how they're building it themselves with their team. So this is a talk about Break the Ice. I'm very interested to know more about that. So let's start with a brief introduction of yours and then we can go ahead with discussing more about it.
Okay. So, hi everyone. I am Palakh Khanna, 19 years old. I am a student as well as a social entrepreneur, and I've also worked with the government of Delhi as a business blasters, youngest mentor and coach. And yes, I'm also very active on LinkedIn. I'm a very active content creator. In terms of my organization, it's called Break.The.Ice. We try to literally break the ice about taboo topics and stigmatized topics which society doesn't talk about. So, yes.
Great. Okay. So I really wanted to ask this that what actually urged you to start Break the Ice and how, where did you get the name from? But how did you started? How you got the idea and how you started building upon that particular stream? Yeah.
So it was a very small incident, actually, kind of silly, but it was also a turning point. So during the pandemic, I just overheard my mom and my domestic help. My domestic helper had her periods at our place and she was just shying away from asking for pads. And I was talking to my mom and I told her, it's the 21st century. I mean, periods is so normal. Why are we not talking about it? I was just triggered because I was like, this cannot happen in our house. We have to start, changing that mindset. So I was talking to my mom about it and my mom told me that, if you're that passionate about it, why not create a platform where you talk about all of this? So I was like, that's a good idea. So I just brainstormed about it and I was like, you know what, instead of thinking about it too much, let's just try to give it a shot. Anyways, it was the pandemic, so I was like, okay, it has to be an online platform first. So that's where Break the Ice came into the picture. And I thought, instead of just talking about menstruation or women, why not include everything taboo, everything which is stigmatized? Because at the end of the day, every stigmatized topic is an important topic which society just doesn't want to talk about, in a simple sentence. So yes, that was the idea behind it and the turning point. And how I grew it, it just happened. I think I used social media to get team members who were very passionate about the cause. And then we gradually just increased. And currently we're in 10 countries, which I just hope to increase by the end of the year.
Great, great. Amazing. So this is a platform where where you with your team talk about on the taboo topics that we generally don't talk about or we avoid in the daily conversations. So you are trying to actually bridge that gap between the normal conversations and the taboo topics. So I would love to know that you are still in college. So did you had a idea of you have to start up one day, it's like you got a problem and then you started let's do something around it? So what was the main theme? You have an entrepreneurship mind from the childhood, kya hai, what it is all about?
Okay. So I think there are two things. Firstly, my dad is a businessman, so एक type of mindset है that I can explore that field also, because I've heard from him that in terms of freedom and in terms of growth, if you're passionate about it, you should definitely be in a business. So I've heard from him, and I was like, okay, we will figure that out when we grow. And initially it was about, if I will have a business, it won't be a business. I've always said that I want a platform or some place where I'm creating change. I never defined that change. So it was always that I had in mind, that if I do get into something like that, maybe a startup, maybe I found something, then it would always be something which will create change in society. So I don't think I had an entrepreneurial mindset. That definitely developed after I opened Break.The.Ice, to be very honest, because that's where I started exploring everything about the startup culture and the entrepreneurial culture. And I learned so much about it, and I got mentors who would teach me everything. So the mindset wasn't there, but the idea was there that I can definitely explore it.
Right. So talking more about Palakh, what exactly, how would you define Palakh in just 3 words maybe?
I think, okay, overly ambitious. This is one word, and I think it's both good and bad. But yes, overly ambitious, Um, Ambivert, and I think changemaker. I just feel like I can define myself as a changemaker because that is something which I have in my mind. That's the purpose of my life. So, yes.
Right, right. So first word I would like to talk more about, because we have been connected for a while now, and I have been seeing many of your initiatives, like apart from the Break.The.Ice, maybe like creating content on LinkedIn or being a part of various shows, various events, and you yourself told me about some of the events that you had an amazing experience at. So according to you, today as a college student, people are really confused about that. How should they go further with things? Should they niche down at the starting only? Should they go with different things? And how, like, after the college is over, they have to get into something full time? So that is something also people are mostly confused about. So what's your take on this, that how would take that in a positive way, like you are doing different things, and then how would it come to one thing that you would do? Yeah.
So I think a lot of people have asked me this. I mean, obviously in different ways. What do you want to do in life? Why don't you have a structure in your mind?
Right.
And we as college students, I think you'll also relate to this. We have that pressure of now understanding what we want to do. Even if we're still young, I mean, we're very young.
Right.
It's just we're literally out of school. We're still in that transition period. But people assume that now that you've entered college, you have to know what you have to do. But I just first personally feel, and my parents relate to what I say usually. I mean, they support it. I have told them that basically life is, and every aspect of life is very intersectional. I can't define that I want to be. I mean, there will be people who know their purpose initially only. For me, like I mentioned, I've always said I wanted to create change. It was never defined, never as an environmentalist, never as a social entrepreneur, never education, nothing. I've always said change, and change in itself is intersectional. So for me, I know ultimately the niche is change. If that is a niche, what I want to do within it is very, very open. So, I mean, thankfully, my parents are supportive about it. But for others, I just feel like you should niche down one step. I mean, at least know where you're headed. But I don't think it has to be a specific occupation or a specific, I don't know, a specific degree also, because you can have a double degree. I mean, double degrees are so cool. You're an expert in like both the fields. So I don't think you have to niche down. What is your opinion on this?
Okay, my opinion, actually, that was the question first of me, and then I wanted to ask what's your opinion on that. But yeah, I definitely agree with that, because what currently is happening this is everyone is doing everything. Matlab, they are trying to go into multiple domains, they are trying to explore different things, and I think that's cool. That's really good for being a change maker, as you told. And actually people are creating change on different levels. But what I think, that being a I am in my final year of graduation, so I guess making one thing as your primary thing, and then obviously lining up different things on that would be a good take to talk about, unless you have content creation earning things, or YouTube earning thing, or whatever you have the earning platform for. But I guess for the start, going with one major income, and then going with other side-by-side skills and everything, network skills, LinkedIn, everything goes hand in hand. And I agree that that would take time. So by then you should have a basic income and primary income, so that you are not worried always about income, right? This is also a point, that people should not actually start everything just to earn out of it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Talking about earnings and talking about like Break.The.Ice again, I would love to know that how did you set up your team, and what was their motivation behind working with you at Break.The.Ice? Because I think you are not into paid things right now. It's a non-profit organization. So how would that work for you? And did you face any difficulties, or was it a smooth process?
Okay, so I'll talk about the difficulties part first. So I feel like while I've got team members from social media, whether it was LinkedIn, whether it was Instagram, and both of them have helped a lot, I just feel like it was difficult because I did not think I would use social media to hire people. Because I was like, those who would want to be a part of the cause would get to know about it offline, word of mouth, maybe friends, maybe extended friends or something like that. And I never thought that I would have to use social media to maybe just talk about it and then bring people to the platform. So I think that was a difficulty, just bringing in people who were like-minded and actually working for the cause, who were interested in the cause, because there were a lot of people who filled in applications. Even I interviewed everyone. I was just like, let's just enjoy the moments also, because what if they're very interesting, right? But I realized that it was difficult to just filter out people and have only a good quality of people in the team. So that was very difficult. And how did I appoint people? Like I mentioned, social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as offline. It was very less. It was just friends and word of mouth. But yes, once we were offline, even some people from my college and everyone who got to know, they joined in. And how and why they joined in, I just feel like it is voluntary. And when I talk to them, I do understand that they have, whoever I appoint, I do understand that they have that vision in mind that I have. So that's why I appoint them. And because it is not paid, I know that it's not for the income. They're actually becoming a part of it as a volunteer because they are interested in the cause.
Right. 100% I agree with that. And even they are getting to know, like they are learning these skills of whatever position at they are. I hope like team building skills, major college students would be learning those skills. And I worked with some non-profit organizations in my college times, and that actually helped us to maybe organize events, then go for teams. We had actually different teams, one for content, one for events, one for PR and everything. And I was part of everything. I was like I have to be thoda part of everything so that I learn maximum in that 1 month, 2 months, whatever the period was. Because at that point, the main thing that we had was time. We have to utilize our time for the best, and I don't think there would be a great resource than to learn from people individually through a team while working with them. So I would like to know more about that. What Break the Ice would do, like on ground level. Do you attend do you organize workshops? Do you organize seminars? And had you organized any offline events as of now, or it's all online? And how does that work? And if anyone wants to be a part of this, how they can be?
So Break.The.Ice is working both online and offline. I mean, we're working online, but the events are both offline and online. So online, we do hold workshops, we do hold events, and we also have just a community where one section of it is blogs of our members as well as of the other public, those who want to talk about personal experiences of these taboo topics, which they couldn't talk with anyone else, because we are creating a safe space. Right. One of that is that. And the second thing is we're also working with the UNSDSN Youth as a member organization, where we are collaborating with them to create a space where we will bring in all the other youth organizations who are working on any sustainable development goal. And we'll create this ecosystem where we are supporting the youth at the end of the day, as well as SDGs in general. And we've done one offline mental health workshop. We did this in government schools because we thought that if we do it in private schools, I mean, I know you didn't ask this, I'm just trying to explain why we did it in government schools, because we thought that at the end of the day, mental health has become, an overused word. It's become a buzzword today. And for people who are in private schools, even if you go and talk about mental health with them, because they know it so much, they'll be like, oh, I'm doing good. Or they will be the extreme person who will say, I'm depressed, without understanding the meaning of depression and sadness and everything. When you go to a government school where people don't have that knowledge, more or less their answers will be very, very honest. So that was the idea, that when you go and talk to them, how are you feeling? The answer would more or less not be socially desirable, but a real answer. So we went and we experienced the same thing. We taught them about mental health, who you can reach out to whenever you need help, professionals, us as well, so that if they feel comfortable, they can talk to us. And yes, so that was one offline event. We did one bag drive.
How was their experience in like opening up and being a part of the event that you organized?
They were very excited about it. At the end, we even told them, you should fill in the feedback forms. And if you feel like this is something that you love to have another times, they filled out the forms. They've already booked us for the next 3-4 months. They were like, you definitely should come. And the school also liked the idea. So they said, okay, you've done this with 9 to 12th students. Now do it with 6 to 8. So we were like, definitely. That's a good, going down the ladder is also important, because you should know about mental health from 6th. I feel like it's very important. So yes, that was a very good response. Then we did one pad drive, which was, again, we know that pad drives are done in our country, but we just thought that it's a good cause at the end of the day. So why not? It wasn't different, and we aimed to do something very different. So, but we did a pad drive as well. And in terms of online, we had this menstruation summit where we invited over 150 individuals. I mean, 150 individuals attended, and most of them were men, which we were very, very happy about, because we were like, okay, we're teaching the right audience. We invited speakers, we invited a menstruation activist, and we discussed why menstruation at the first place is taboo and what we should do about it. So yes, those are the events which have taken place, and we aim to do a lot more.
Right. And I must say, like, your experience would have been different in conducting online and offline events, because in online, obviously, we are now used to being online events and conducting various type of it. But getting offline would have been a different experience for you.
Yes. It was very fun actually, but yes, when you're offline, it's, that anxiety also comes into the picture, that what if they don't enjoy it? But that's exciting at the same time, I think.
Right. It happens that what if the event does not go as expected, or people are not enjoying, or whatever it is. It's like there is something where with an offline event, because the people are there in front of you, they can say you anything, they can talk about anything. But although it's like not as harm as I'm sounding, but yeah, it's like there is some nervousness around the corner. Right. So, last question to you, Palakh. You told about your experience starting something of your own at the age of 19, right? So, how would you any tips or suggestions would you like to give to the college students who want to start something, but they don't have enough motivation to do so?
Okay, so I think it would be that you should always follow your passion at the end of the day. It would only be that. I know, very cliche, but I just feel like that's the reality of my journey and my 19 years of existence, and many others who are successful, irrespective of what others say. And because for me, I was talking about very sensitive topics. So there were people who were like, no, this won't be successful. I mean, obviously not in a bad way, but they did tell me that, remember, because they're sensitive, because they're taboo, because we don't talk about them, it can go both ways. It can be a very good success, good response, or people can be like, this is very controversial, just stop it. So, but I just felt like, because of my passion, I did continue it, and it's going well. So I just feel like, yeah, that is the only thing. And as college students, we also have that time to explore. I mean, we may not have the entire time to explore, but we do have that risk-taking ability as well. Right now in the transition period, you can take risks. So if you have that passion in you, definitely go ahead.
Right, definitely. And it's all at the end of the day, it's all about what you enjoy doing, even like for a couple of hours in a day, and then you go back to the normal routine. But I guess by incorporating that passion thing for a couple of hours in a day would go to much extent at the end.
Yes.
Right. So that was all from my side, Palakh. I had these questions. I wanted to have a good discussion and conversation with you. So thanks a lot for sharing your experiences with us. I hope we would connect again sometime soon and have a great long conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Palakh. Have a great day. Bye-bye.